You're still watching the African news right here on Voice of the People television. We'll go straight to the analysis segment of the news. And joining us to make sense of these stories and more is Barrister Darlington Agumore, who is a legal practitioner right here in Nigeria, and on this table is a political and public affairs analyst. Barrister, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, David. How are you?
I'm fine, very well. Thank you, Barrister. How are you doing as well?
I'm okay.
All right, Barrister, let's go straight to Cameroon, where opposition figure is currently has declared himself the winner of that election. And again, that is coming from the backdrop of the fact that several questions have been raised about that particular conversation. And I'm talking about Issa Tchiroma Bakary. He's declared himself winner of Sunday's presidential election. First, from your perspective, what is the implication of such declaration? Because across Africa, when opposition feels he or she is big with the people, popularity now, there is this sense of entitlement, according to what some quarters are saying, and to say that he's the winner of the election and asking the sitting president, Paul Biya, to concede to defeat. What's your position with this, Barrister?
Please, this thing has become a joke. I don't understand. Is it that the election was conducted and the votes were counted and he won? Or he just woke up from his dream and decided that he had won an election in Cameroon? Is that what happened?
Well, there are some indication that on some of the quarters he's leading the race. But declaring yourself the winner of an election that has not been fully resolved.
In fact, that is where I'm going.
Yes.
Look, this type of excitement, I don't like it. Seriously. If you are leading is different from winning. Why not wait? What is the hurry all about? Why not wait? Since you have the figure, the votes, keep it. At the end of the day, they will announce you. Is there any big deal about it? Because if he continue to do that, they may even arrest him. They may arrest him because election all over the world, it is the electoral umpire that announces the result, not you. Okay. You are a participant. You cannot declare yourself a winner. It is the umpire that will do that. So I hope he knows what he's doing. Because if you continue to be overexcited like this, and at the end of the day, you may even force Paul Biya to react and all that, and say, no, this is what I want and all that. So what happened at the end and they now start making known that you won, no, you didn't win, no. All you needed to do, monitor the election closely, follow it. Make sure that the right things are being done. At the end of the day, the results will be announced, and then the person in power, the kind of person he is. Yeah?
Yeah.
If you now go and do something that's done to us, you may try to embarrass him. And no leader wants to be embarrassed.
Now, Barrister, concerns are being raised about the fact that he just declared himself winner of an election that has not been fully announced.
Is that not what I'm saying here?
Now, the fact that he did this declaration, Barrister, what's the implication of that particular statement on his part? And of course, considering the fact that there's been consistent protests by young people across Cameroon, based on the fact that they hear that the elections might be marred again, as it always has been, according to some youths in Cameroon.
He is forcing the electoral umpire in Cameroon to declare him the winner. And I don't think that is proper. You are forcing them to declare you the winner when even the results have not been collated, and it might even bring chaos. All I've said here is that monitor the election closely. Make sure that the results are counted properly. And if the thing is overwhelming, there's nothing Biya or anybody can do as long as you have the results. But for you to declare yourself a winner in an election that has not been concluded, it looks somehow. If Biya react, nobody should blame him.
Now, his statement in the video that he did share on his socials about his victory, and of course he's asking that the incumbent president, his refusal to accept him as the winner might just plunge the country into some crisis. That statement, again, Barrister, some quarters have called it wanting to shake the polity of that country called Cameroon.
Yes.
With that kind of statement, can he be seen as one who is trying to force the hand of electoral empire?
I just told you here that that's where he's going. If he has won this election, there is nothing anybody can do to change the results. But with what he's doing now, he may be jeopardizing his chances and putting the country in harm's way. That's the truth. Elections have not been concluded and you are declaring yourself the winner. It sounds somehow. What if other results now tilt in favor of Biya? What are you going to do or say? Wait, even if you remain one person, let that vote be counted.
Is there the possibility, Barrister, that the opposition figure is talking or did make this video from the position of the fact that antecedents from the past might just reoccur in this present election?
No, look, whatever has happened in the past, there is no law that says it must continue to happen.
Okay.
At a point, something will give. Evil will expire, while good will take over. If this election has been won free and fair, there is nothing Biya can do about it. Evidence will be there to show that yes, you have won.
But there are some concerns, Barrister, which again has caused protests across Cameroon about the fact that electoral umpires in some other counties and municipalities are switching results. I mean, this is not something new in Africa. So by this kind of declaration by Tchiroma, is this going to change the narrative of what is assumed by some that is likely going to happen in the end?
If you are anticipating such a move,
yes,
the best thing to do is not what you are doing. If you have the actual results with you, keep it. You will use it in court than causing chaos in your country. Already you know that Biya have all the institutions at his beck and call. Don't go and pull a tiger by the tail. That is what I'm saying here. This man should have been patient and wait until the final collation and announcement than trying to overreach himself, forcing the electoral umpire. So, look, there are things you should do if you are winning. Not this declaring yourself the winner.
But then again, Barrister, some quarters have said that this particular declaration by the opposition is one of the reasons why the young people are getting into the streets and protesting, and of course causing a lot of mayhem and insecurity in the country. Should these be consistent in the coming days? Is there a possibility that Tchiroma might be docked in for such a video?
Is that not what I told you here? That he's trying to cause problem for himself and for the country. Okay, these young people that are in the street now, what are they protesting for? What are they protesting for? That is the question here. If there should be jubilation instead of protest. So if anything happens now, he should blame himself. Seriously, he should.
All right, then. Let's move from this story. Again, we would definitely keep our eyes on this conversation. And, of course, when the Constitutional Council clearly declares the winner, we definitely will be bringing it to you as well. Let's jump from this conversation in Cameroon to another one where Madagascan president has left the country. I'm talking about Andre Rajoelina. Again, he did make a video as well, Barrister, from an undisclosed location last night, and said that there's been an illegal attempt to seize power in the country because some elite army has joined the anti-government protest in the capital, Antananarivo. Barrister, what's your position with this move? Because, hey, the president has left the country as he stands, of course, because of military intervention in the protest that is ongoing.
I will advise him to stay where he is, though. He should not come back. I will advise him to join his fellow travelers who believe that they are God. Let him go and join them wherever, either they are hiding somewhere or they are no longer around. He should locate them and join them. People like Idi Amin. What's that his name? Mobutu Sese Seko. Let him find them and find out where they are. Look, I am so happy that African youths are waking up. You know, I've been saying it here. Yes, I've been saying it, and I'm not joking. They are the ones who will take back their continent. I don't know why these evil men, they choose to be doing what they are doing. They will come for your vote to preaching morals, to preaching good governance, preaching anything good. By the time you give them your vote, they will enter office and start acting like God. Start acting like they are no longer humble.
Well, Barrister, another part of this conversation is the fact that President Rajoelina did say that he is calling for dialogue and respect for the Constitution. And of course, the last part of that conversation is the fact that he did not tender his resignation, which again, the young people in Madagascar are asking for. What should the people make of this video that he made yesterday?
Look, nobody should take him serious.
But he's still the president of the country, man.
Let him come back to his seat now, if he's the president.
When you say nobody should take him serious, why do you mean?
Because he's no longer on seat. How can you be talking to your people from undisclosed location? Before this discussion, what were you doing in office? David, what was he doing in office? But if you have been doing well, will the people protest? No, tell me, you are calling for that.
But Barrister, as a result of the protest, the people clearly made their voice and their opinions known. And the president did drop all of his ministers and the people serving him.
The Roto did it in Kenya, but it didn't help matters. I'm talking of a situation whereby the people will not be a determinant factor when it comes to governance in Africa. Isn't
that supposed to be a matter of conversation between the people in power?
No, we are past that stage, Joe. This conversation, we have been conversing for a long time. We have been, no, that conversation is over. So this time around, you must do what you are supposed to do, those things you promise your people.
So where lies the governance in Madagascar since the president is no more in the seat of power in Antananarivo?
When it happened in Bangladesh and this other, where the prime minister president ran away, the country born, they have taken over their country and they are rearranging everything. So if he leaves office, nature will find its level now. Somebody will definitely take over, and that person will not learn a hard lesson. That's the truth. The country cannot remain in a vacuum like that. At a point, the necessary things will be done, and maybe when this man is not seen, it will be declared that he has abdicated from the throne. Abi? He abandoned his duty post, and so let another person take over.
All right, then. Now, Barrister, interestingly, President Andre Rajoelina did say in one of his broadcasts that if after 1 year he does not deliver what the Gen Zs are asking for, they should get him out of office. That commitment, isn't it worthy for the Gen Zs, the youth, to hold back on their agitations?
David, you know, it is too late to cry when the head is off. Right now, I don't expect those youth to back down. Which kind of the one you entered into with them when you took office?
I mean, this is second term in office since 2009.
Oh, really? And you are now promising after 1 year. Look at this people. They think they are clever. So that when you now enter, you now systematically disable their strength, Abi. Maybe by eliminating their leaders or strong oppositions, Abi. The man doesn't have sense, seriously. Let him stay where he is. Oh, these people will rearrange their country, and somebody responsible will take over. And from what has happened is a very big lesson, so that their country can now get back on its feet. Let the man stay where he is,
Barrister,
for his own good.
Barrister, Madagascar is a very, well, I don't want to use a very poor island country in Nigeria, but because of the situation,
the population is not even up to
the local government in Lagos State. Yes, not up to that. Now, concerns are being raised about the fact that the military actually joined this particular protest.
Of course.
Is there a possibility that this strikes so clearly like a military coup, rather than just being a protest by young people wanting good governance from the president?
The man saw the handwriting on the wall and he took off. It's like what happened before the war broke out. When Agui Inosi died, Brigadier Gundigbe, who was the second in command, took over office. And when he took over office, he now gave directives and order to his junior. They just snubbed him. The man didn't even bother. He knew the meaning of that. So he took off. You know that he saw the handwriting on the wall. Imagine your commander-in-chief giving order, nobody listened or obeyed him. Don't you know, are you waiting until they now come and face you with gun? You should know that you are no longer needed. So you now excuse yourself. That's the truth.
So right now, Barrister, this, so to say, according to President Andrea Rajoelina, calling this a coup, is this what it is on the part of the military again?
They want to do it in a way that it will not be an outright coup. We just want to say that the man abdicated his office. And after waited for him and he didn't come back, they had to reset the country. You can't call it a coup. But out of fear that the military have joined the protest, the man saw the handwriting on the wall. Even when he ordered them to shoot the protesters,
right,
and they ignored him. That's enough to tell him that he's no longer one. You know what it means when a commander-in-chief gave and the military just told him, "Oga, we're not going to do that thing when you talk."
All right, the Barrister, another conversation here in all of this is the fact that President Andrea Rajoelina also called for dialogue, and you did say earlier that no time for dialogue.
We are past.
But in the space of good governance, isn't dialogue another tool to get better governance for the people?
When somebody is trying to play pranks on you, don't give him that opportunity and privilege. He has been there first time, Abi.
Yes, this is his second term in office.
Why didn't he do those things in his first time in office? So he knew that he needed to talk to, because they now rose up, Abi. If they had kept quiet, will he call for any dialogue? He didn't call for dialogue in his first term. While he was doing what he was doing, he didn't remember that these people are there, that these people are becoming impatient too. He just believed that nothing will happen since he has the military.
So Barrister, again, the concern now is when government calls for dialogue and then the people who are aggrieved and agitating choose not to come for this kind of dialogue, are we seeing some path of governance that is not supposed to be seen at all? Because I say this because in Nigeria, the academic staff union of universities ASU are on strike. And the Minister of Education also did say that they are calling for dialogue. So when this call for dialogue comes, Barrister, help Africans understand, isn't it about time that the people agitating should also come to a round table to have this dialogue?
No, if you know that this dialogue is to whittle down your strength, is to play pranks on you, is to make promises that they have always done. This also matter. Do you remember how many times? Do you remember how many times this government have been dilly-dallying over this ASU and their matter? The most annoying thing now for our ASU is that the 50 billion they have told the whole world that they are giving them, they didn't see any money. The money is still with the government, because they are talking of sharing formula and all that. They didn't see any money. And you are telling the whole world that you are giving them money. You know, so these are the issues. There are times government call for discussion only to what? To whittle down your spirit, to slow you down, to capture your your agitation and all that. Nothing else. Just, I mean, you can see when they give strike notice, government will not do anything until 11th hour, a day to the strike date. You see government now say, come, let's discuss. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? After they have made all the preparation, mobilize all their members all over the country, put up the logistics and all that. You now want to rubbish all those things. What were you doing for the past 3 weeks that they gave the notice? What were you doing? You can see. So it's deliberate. And so when you know that government is trying to play, don't give them that opportunity. They have discussed enough. They have discussed enough. That's what I'm saying. They had all the chance. Even the minister is telling you now that he did not receive any letter. He did not, and when he now received the letter, he didn't do anything since February. Since February, he said he didn't know how to contact ASO. ASO have been making things difficult and all that. Is it true? At a point, he said that they didn't see any letter. When he eventually saw it in February, from February till now, they didn't do anything. And you are now calling for dialogue. And you want them to come and listen to you, Abi?
Unfortunately, Barrister, the trust deficits between the governing bodies and the people seem to be consistently grow in its largest of numbers. And this is a concerning factor. I say this because of the next story that we're jumping into, Barrister. The UN is clearly saying right now that the truce between Rwanda and Rwanda and DR Congo is not happening because there is still ongoing fights in that region of the DRC. Now, this is from the backdrop of the fact that Washington has called for Paul Kagame and, of course, the president of DRC to come and have a conversation to sort out these differences. Why do you think fighting is still ongoing in some parts of the DRC, even though they are having a conversation to come to a truce path?
Because the mediators are not sincere. They are interested in the mineral resources in DR Congo and not to stop the war. If the war stops, it will not be in their favor. They want that conflict to continue so that they will use that opportunity to be making the mineral resources in DR Congo. Right now, all manner of people are coming in, and you think that they came to mediate. No, they came to exploit the mineral resources in that country. That is the end game. Even George Bush is not doing better. He came in and he said that, look, if I bring peace, I'm going to take your mineral resources. Is that not what he said? That will tell you that Ab initio is not sincere. He's not sincere. So if you are not sincere in what you are doing, how can you bring success out of it? How? Everybody now, DR Congo, what is it called? Want to resolve your conflict. Meanwhile, they created that conflict. They are the ones arming those rebels. They are the ones.
But Barrister, the concern now is, why do you think the resumption of direct dialogue between these two warring factions is not looking any good? Because lives are lost in these consistent fights of mineral resources, Barrister.
Who and who? With the direct discussion with who and who? You mean DR Congo and who?
Yes, and of course Paul Kagame, the one, of course, who have been alleged to be the sponsor of the M23.
You can see what we are talking about. On what basis? It's like what is going on in Rivers State, where every time they want to talk, you mention weekend. You know, the first question anybody should be asking, what is Paul Kagame's interest in DR Congo? Tell me. This is a sovereign nation.
It's Hutsi people, the ones he's protecting, according to him.
No. You can't take an army of occupation into another country. You are calling for war. That's the truth. The mere fact that you now arm the rebel group to invade another country.
And taking over some cities as well.
Exactly. The UN and these so-called messiahs, they should be looking at it from that angle and sanction Paul Kagame. Imagine the pressure they mounted on Israel. Is that not what made them to agree to a ceasefire and then a rehabilitation of the people of Palestine in Gaza Strip.
Right.
Initially, the idea between Donald Trump and Netanyahu was to use broom and sweep the whole of Gaza Strip of Hamas and Palestinians so that they will now use it as an extension of American territory. That was what Donald Trump was talking about.
But Barrister, there are concerns now.
So because of the pressure now,
yes,
you can see that they are talking peace.
Now, Barrister,
the soldiers are withdrawn. So why can't they mount the same pressure on Paul Kagame? Like, look, we are seeing what you are doing and we are giving you ultimatum. Disarm these guys and leave DR Congo or else. Paul Kagame cannot withstand 1 week of sanction from the Western world. He can't withstand this.
Speaking of sanctions, Barrister, you would recall on this table as well, we mentioned 2-3 sanctions that he has gotten because of his involvement with the M23 rebels. One is that of the UK's
asylum
seeking fund. That was suspended. And then at this point, Washington seemed to be calling Paul Kagame, rather than wanting to help holistically, to take off these rebels of a sovereign nation in the DRC. Where lies the position of we do not negotiate with terrorists in this conversation, Barrister?
Yes, what I'm saying, well, it is the country that we should say that, not external help. The country that you are talking about. No, Washington.
Okay.
Washington is talking of intervening on the matter.
Right.
It is DR Congo that will even ask, why are we talking with these people? It is what they accept or reject that will matter here. So if they have accepted it, what is the guarantee that it will be permanent peace? No. It is Paul Kagame that this Western power should be talking to. What interest do you have in DR Congo? Where is the evidence that your people are being marginalized or maltreated or killed? These M23 rebels, are they part of your people? Are they? They are not your people. So why do you now fund a terrorist organization into another country? This is an aggression, violation of the international boundary. These are the ways the international community should be looking at it. And then sanction Paul Kagame. In fact, give him a direct order. Give him a direct order. I mean, he can't withstand any of the Western power. He can't. Yes, if America should say, look, we are giving you ultimatum on this matter. We don't even want any negotiation. Will he resist it? No. Paul Kagame, does he have the balls to resist it? He cannot. So these Western leaders, they are not being sincere. They are still interested in the mineral resources of DR Congo. All
right, then, Barrister, because of our time, let's jump to one that I really would want you to chime in on. And that is the situation happening in Kenya, where the president of Kenya, William Ruto, has said that, look, at this point, I'm bringing on board key political rivals. And these rivals include former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and former Senator Gideon Moi, as part of a bold initiative to transform Kenya from a from a third world country to a first world country by 2055. Barrister, elections in Kenya would happen, I think, in 2027, if I'm not wrong, from my calculation. Looking at this conversation, the fact that, well, I don't want to call them former opposition right now, because they've been also
former president.
Yes, former president and former opposition, because they are still opposition anyway. This kind of political ally, Barrister, what do you make of it in a country that even the young people are clearly also being vocal about good governance in diverse protests as well?
No, the man is trying to be politically clever. You know, these former leaders, they have their own followers and they are from different ethnic groups in Kenya.
Yes.
With their presence in government, their people may not disturb Ruto again. And maybe they will even help to show vote for him. But it will never be. Because some of them may be, looking at contesting election with Roto, by 2027. Is that not true?
Right.
So bringing them on board now, what does that mean? Will they be contesting election against you in a government they are part of? I don't see some of them are accepting that offer. I don't see. It shows that the man is becoming weak and helpless.
Well, they seem to be accepting it. That's what I'm saying. They seem to be accepting it.
It depends on the position they want to occupy, because except they don't want to contest election.
Okay, now again, that brings me to the movement of political elites from one party to another. You would recall just a couple of minutes ago where we read about the governor of Enugu State moving to the All Progressive Congress presently. Why do you think these people do this?
I don't think what is going on in Kenya is defection. They are not defecting to Ruto's party. I don't think so.
They don't have to defect to the party. They are in government with Ruto. That's what it means.
That means maybe they are on contract, whatever. Except they are not going to contest election in 2027. If they are going to contest election, how can they be in a government and they are contesting against that government? Is it possible? Are you not looking at it from that angle? So this guy, I don't know the contract they want to sign with Roto. Whether it's a permanent job or whatever.
Well, like I said, the initiative is to make sure that Kenya becomes a first world country by 2055.
So he will be around by that time.
Concerns are being raised, Barrister, that
will he be around by that time?
This simply means that these people will become the kingmakers in Kenya, because the formidable force of William Ruto, Riley Odinga, and of course Gideon Moy, even with Uhuru Kenyatta, would be a major formidable force in the political landscape of Kenya.
No, the Kenya electorate are not stupid. Those guys, they are politically aware. So if they are trying to play any prank, this youth will understand and they will go after them in protest. That's the truth. What Roto is trying to do does not hold water. Let him run his government and leave. Anybody that comes will continue. Don't come and tell me in 2055. Who told you that your plan will work? And when you are not going to be around, are you going to be a live president of Kenya or what? I mean, if the other person comes and doesn't buy into your idea, what do not happen?
Huge question there, Barrister.